Hey everybody, Kenny here. Just some housekeeping before we get started. If this is your first time watching any of my build videos, I do not present builds that are intended for pinnacle content for players who have been playing the game for over a decade. I make builds for players who don't have a lot of time to play Path of Exile, and most likely, if they do get to maps each league, they probably don't get very far and are just looking for fun ideas for builds to try out with the limited time they have. It's very much a casual Path of Exile based channel, so if that isn't what you're looking for, this is your warning. Out of the way, let's get started. Welcome everyone to my static burst build. This isn't really a themed build like what I did last league, but instead is inspired by the fact that during the past league, I happened to find the new version of the Ephemeral Edge. And what the new version does is it has that second to last, well, actually, that last clause there that makes it that essentially the Ephemeral Edge is like the Energy Blade skill. So it has essentially the same functionality as the Energy Blade skill, except instead of sacrificing your energy shield to generate the additional damage for your weapons, instead it is just a passive thing that exists on the weapon itself. And so that was essentially the entire inspiration for why I came up with this particular build. Well, first, let's see it in action, and then we'll go over the details.
Just need a moment to catch my breath. just need a moment to catch my breath. Be still. Such lovely material.
Okay, so I'm going to put in a great effort to try to make this go by as quick as possible, because this is my 4th time recording this, and somehow every single time it's come out to like 30 minutes. I've set a timer to make sure I don't do this for more than 10 minutes this time. But as you could see from watching the build in action, this is actually quite potent. The combination of using Static Strike and then using Battle Mage's Cry to cast Penance Brand works very well. And in situations where we run into enemies that are either highly resistant or fully immune to lightning damage, we have Wild Strike to be able to deal with those enemies, and our Wild Strike we have set up to use Multi-Strike so that in the cases that we have put down our Battle Mage's Cry, it will not use up our exertions by using Wild Strike, because that is a skill interaction that exists between Multi-Strike gems and any of the exertion skills, is that they cannot be exerted by Multi-Strike. So anytime you want to fit in a Cry and not use your Multi-Strike to, and I can have a skill that you use to attack, but you don't want to exert your attacks, then using Multi-Strike to support that skill will guarantee that you do not use up any of your exertion charges. This Wild Strike here I have being supported by Multi-Strike, Ice Bite, and faster attacks, so just so it can deal damage as quickly as possible. Then for our Penance Brand, we're using Battle Mage's Cry, and then we're supporting it with Spellblade and Swift Brand. Reason that we're using Swift Brand here is that this particular Penance Brand, the Penance Brand of Conduction, the way it works is that it activates very fast and then detaches very fast as well. You can see it has a attachment duration of only half a second, so it attaches, it activates a couple times, then then it detaches from the enemy, and it performs the action of the brand. That's the way brands work. So in order to get the most out of this, you want to be using Swift Brand, because Swift Brand reduces that attached duration, detached duration, and the activation frequency. So we can see here that our Penance Brand, it attaches for a total of 0.17 seconds, and it activates every 0.1 second. So we'll get exactly one activation before it detaches. So it's basically like you activate Battle Mage's Cry, you use Static Strike, and then almost immediately the brand detaches, and you get the big extra damage from the spell itself. Now the reason for Spellblade is because I leveled this character using Energy Blade, and when using Energy Blade, your weapon gets replaced by a weapon of pure lightning that can be used by Spellblade to give you a very nice bonus to your spell damage. However, we are using Ephemeral Edge, and Ephemeral Edge does not have the full functionality of Energy Blade. It does go and give you the effect of Energy Blade, where you have additional damage to your attack skills that are based on your Energy Shield, but this is a conditional form of damage, and therefore does not count for things like Spellblade, where the damage has to be on the weapon itself. So the only damage that this would be providing through Spellblade would be from the physical damage and the elemental damage that you see at the top of the weapon details. As far as the gear goes, there isn't anything like The only piece that really matters is our chest piece here. And the reason why the chest piece matters is this is a Zodiac leather that has a very large amount of evasion rating that we crafted some energy shield onto. And the reason we did that is because in our ascendancy we are using Escape Artist, and Escape Artist makes it that the more evasion you have on your chest piece, the more energy shield you have overall. So having a very high energy shield, a very high evasion chest piece gets you more energy shield than if you were to have a very high energy shield chest piece. Unless, it was a very special chest piece that happened to have like 500 flat energy shield on it, which you most likely wouldn't have if you were leveling while leveling a character like this. For our static strike, we're supporting it with added lightning damage, innervate, and lightning penetration. So we want to make it that we have more chance to shock. We want to get that extra proc whenever we happen to kill an enemy that it happens to be shocked. And we want to be able to penetrate more of the enemy's resistances. And to support that further, we are using Blasphemy to make it that we are passively hexing our enemies with conductivity so that they have further reduced lightning resistance and increase our chance to shock against them. So just full synergies are all around with those. Now we're using Clarity just for the extra mana regen. It might be worth it to add Precision to your loadout if you decide to run this, just because we don't have a good amount of accuracy rating in this build. So you can see we have a very poor chance to hit, which is why we are also running the Ice Golem, so we get additional accuracy out of this. It's very important for us. I'm also using this turquoise amulet so that I can actually wear the leather armor here. So if I take that off, you can see that I can't wear it anymore. So it's important to get our stats up as much as we can. The other pieces, if you want to see them, I have the link in the description. Just go right to that location and you'll see all of the gems and gear that I have on here. For our passive build, as I mentioned, we are using Escape Artist for all of the extra energy shield based on our evasion rating. We also have Soul Drinker, so we have energy shield leech, and also make it that we're a little more effective while we're leeching. We also have Spellbreaker, so that way we have some spell suppress and have some additional recharge when we suppress energy shield. I'm sorry, when you suppress spell damage. Then I just focused as much as I could on between getting damage, getting life, getting energy shield, and upping our shock chance. So that's what this one up here is all about, extra shock chance. And then just, lots of energy shield, as much as we can get, as much life as we can get, just as much stats as we can get in order to support the gems we're using and the equipment we're wearing. Yeah, that is the build. I'm using this because I like to have the recovery mastery that makes it to nearby enemies, a reduced life regeneration, and I hate regen on enemies. But you don't have to use this, it's just what I like to do. Alright, I made it. Thanks everybody for stopping by and checking me out. If you found these tips useful, if you're doing our YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, stay Victus, Virus and Numeris, and bye.